So I left a review for this trampoline place that we took my nephews and my kids to. And the trampoline place was crazy. It was dirty. It was mismanaged. There was no manager there. There was just teenagers, and all of them were on their phones.
Nice.
There was visible mold on the ball pit balls.
Oh, no.
And you know that black grime that forms on a bathroom stall around where the hands go or the door?
Yeah.
If you don't clean it. That was on all of the climbing equipment. Like the trampolines were probably the only parts that were just clean because how dirty can a trampoline get, you know?
Yeah.
You're bouncing on socks. But anyway, so I left a review. And the review is this. If you're an 80s kid who used to get a little overstimulated at Showbiz Pizza Place, then this place will make that place feel like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Every child is unmonitored. They're sweaty and feral and likely heavily medicated.
Oh, jeez.
The staff is maybe 5 years older than the ankle biters that are actually running the place. I'm assuming there's a corporate app that they have to be on constantly in order to do their jobs effectively and keep the kids safe, because they were all studying every moment they weren't clamping a kid into a harness. Would contract COVID again, 5 stars.
Wow.
So
you gave them 5 stars for being a nasty place.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Man.
Which adds to the humor, right?
Yeah.
Well, I get replies from these people sometimes. And they sometimes they get the joke, and sometimes they just type it into AI and say, make a reply for this this review. And I am guaranteeing you that is what this person did. The reply: we're thrilled to hear that our place brought back some nostalgic memories for you. Chat GPT, anybody?
Oh, man.
We understand your observations about the energetic atmosphere and our staff's dedication to safety.
Oh, come on.
Chat GPT, anyone?
Yep.
We're always striving to provide a fun and secure environment for all our guests. Thank you for your feedback and the 5-star rating.
Oh, man.
So that is the story called The AI Reply by James in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Peter's, Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
So either that was totally ChatGPT, which it's got to be. I could put it through an AI filter if you want. I could find out for sure. Yeah. But either that or that were just very crafty and very snarky. No. We understand your observations about the energetic atmosphere.
No,
and our staff's dedication to safety.
That would have been clever but that reads like a nice GPT. ChatGPT is always nice.
Yeah.
Like I tried to get it to help me write something bad about Karens, and it wrote half a paragraph about stereotypical Karens, but then it finished the paragraph like John would and said, but Karens are just people like everybody else, and deep in their heart, they probably just are struggling, and we need to kind of understand what they're going through.
It does sound like something I would say.
Yeah. So, that's what this sounds like. It's like he heard the negatives, ChatGPT heard the negatives, used the keywords that it wanted to be positive about, and wrote about those. So, anyway. Oh, I almost forgot. We have a new sponsor I was supposed to play at the front of the show. It's Brother John something or another. Let's find out together. Here we go.
Well, okay.
You know, I've seen a lot of bowls in my time. Plastic, ceramic, even those fancy glass ones. But none of them hold a candle to my favorite, the Brother John's Blessed Bowl. That's right, this bowl is a game changer. And let me tell you why. It's Sunday morning, and Linda's in the kitchen prepping her famous macaroni salad. You know, the one creamy, tangy, with that perfect sprinkle of parsley on top. And she reaches for her trusty Blessed Bowl, and I can't help but smile. That's a bowl that knows its job.
Yeah.
She packs it full, smooths it out, and heads off to church. And let me tell you, when she walks through those doors, it's like a parade. Everyone sees that gleaming blessed bowl, and suddenly they're all smiling. Well, if it isn't Linda and her macaroni salad, well, praise be. The bowl lands right on the potluck table, nestled between the deviled eggs and the jello mold, shining like the star it is.
Perfect.
Now, I've seen this bowl at work. I know its tricks. It's got space, it's got style, and when you're digging in for seconds or thirds, you can trust it to keep things steady. I've heard church ladies gush over it. Oh, what a lovely bowl, they say. Well, they're not wrong. This thing holds more macaroni than you think possible. Divine design, if you ask me. But you want to hear something really special? This bowl ain't just for potlucks, no sir. Cut to 2 days later. Linda's daughter, Kayla, goes into labor. It's chaos. Nurses are rushing around, doctors are prepping, and there's Linda, calm as can be. She reaches into her bag, and what does she pull out? Yep, you guessed it. The blessed bowl, still sparkling and still ready. Now, I'm not saying the blessed bowl was made for this, but it handled that delivery like a pro. Caught that newborn like it was catching the Holy Spirit. Nurses just stood there, mouths open, as Linda cleaned it up, wrapped it in a towel, and handed it over. One of them leaned over and said, "Now that's what I call multi-purpose." And you bet it is. So next Sunday, there it is again, back on the kitchen counter, ready to be filled with macaroni or fruit punch or who knows, maybe even a meatloaf. It doesn't matter. The blessed bowl is versatile. It's dependable, and it's ready for whatever life or the church social throws at it.
Oh, gosh.
So if you're looking for a bowl that can handle everything from potlucks to, well, other kinds of miracles, look no further. The blessed bowl has got you covered. It's dishwasher safe, sterilizable, and available in 3 colors: divine white, miracle blue, and angelic pink. So pick yourself up one of Brother John's blessed bowls and leave a legacy for generations to come.
Placenta pink.
And while you're at it, take a look for one of Brother John's Not Yeti travel mugs. They're great for keeping cold things cold, hot things hot, and they can be used in the occasional bladder overfilling, if you know what I mean. Look for Brother John's quality products anywhere you shop.
Oh, Brother John, thank you for your support of That Story Show.
That's awesome.
That was amazing.
I use his beard oil too. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about that stuff. It's good, but his bowls, I'm not so sure about. Not so sure we should have taken that money. I think we've sold out
long ago.
Yeah,
I don't know. Their travel mugs aren't so bad.
Yeah, that's good.
I gotta go.
All right, read us the story, John.
All right, I got your story right here. Brought to you by Brother John's Baby Bowls. Let's hit a kid. This is coming to us from Luis. All right. So Luis says, my 5 siblings and I were playing baseball with the neighborhood kids in the park across the street, in full view from our house. Mm-hmm. The game had its usual players, plus 2 heinous brothers from down the street. Oh, those heinous kids. Heinous.
I haven't heard that in a long time, since like the 80s. Totally heinous, dude.
Totally. They're heinous.
Oh, and I heard it from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, too.
That's right. Excellent Ted. Well, during this game, the older detestable boy began taunting my twin sister. He demanded that she kiss him.
That's not good.
She switched places in the outfield to get away from him. However, the game came to a screeching halt when he tackled, pinned, and kissed her all over her face.
No.
Okay, I was up to bat, and I had a clear line of sight upon this egregious assault. Bat in hand. Egregious. This is a well-written, Luis.
Yeah, somebody got on thesource.com.
It's egregious assault.
I need 10 ways to say bad.
Yeah.
Heinous. Egregious.
Either that, or maybe I'm reading this with the wrong accent. Maybe this is like an English.
Maybe it's Louis instead of Louis.
Louis. Well, I'm sorry if I've done it wrong, but we got to finish it. Bat in hand, I ran to my sister's defense.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. You protect your sister, Louise. In the meantime, unbeknownst to me, this is another fine word.
Ooh, dang.
My father was top speed running to his little girl's rescue. I only had time to raise the bat and scream my battle cry when my father snatched the bat from my hand and yelled, "Let me at him!"
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, Dad, there you go. The nasty boy jumped up.
here.
Get over here. I'll take the swing for the fences. The nasty boy jumped up and ran with my father screaming like a banshee behind him with the bat raised menacingly. This is 4 words. These are 4 very expensive words to use in here.
Yes. It's upping the intelligence of our show
I
substantially.
know.
Look at my sentence that I just used for the law.
Substantially. That's
Yeah.
a good one. He allowed the terrified fiend to scurry into his house and lock the door.
Oh.
The entire neighborhood heard my father's issue. I'm sorry. This is Shakespeare here. The entire neighborhood heard my father issue his decree should the degenerate reprobate ever come near his daughters again. My father returned the bat to me with a concentrated hands-on demonstration on how to choke up on it and proper the foot placement near the base.
Yeah.
He joined our weekend games for the rest of the summer along with a few other neighborhood dads.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the miscreant and their father never joined us. Thanks for reading this, and I hope it makes it on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Man,
It
a
would be-
story like that does me good.
Yeah, most appropriately.
Oh, most distinguished of stories.
Ring
Absolutely.
that there thy bell upon
Yes.
the
I shall
place.
toll it again and again.
The
There we go.
ding which doth ring within my ears does me great joy.
It does. Man, that kid must be homeschooled. That's what I got to say right there. First of all, they're playing with their dad, and their dad
Well-
still lives with them.
Yep. Let's add it up here. So 5 siblings. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ding 1.
That's 6 kids in all.
Playing
Me and-
baseball in the street with friends.
Yep.
Ding 2.
In bird's eye view or in view of the house, ding
Yep.
3.
Dad at home. Ding 4.
We have all these high dollar words.
And at least one kid that has no social graces at all because his parents haven't taught
Right.
him any. He's not socialized properly. That's ding 5.
He was
Because-
heinous.
There's still that stereotype for a reason because not every kid is socialized properly. Some of them want to hit girls over the head and drag them into the cave.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And then the father was able to chase him down and the other dad didn't come out and harangue him. Oh, look at me with my fancy words.
What's a harangue? I've never heard that one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I'm going to give that a middle school or a homeschool drama.
So where'd your son go to school?
Oh, he's homeschooled.
All right.
I'm going
this
to give
one-
it 5 stars.
Oh, there you go. 5 stars.
And I'm going to get ChatGPT to write me a nice response.
All right. That sounds good. Alex has a story called Kudzu Karma. I heard on a podcast recently about kudzu, and I reached out to my mom about a family story of how my family got kicked out of Kentucky for bringing in kudzu. The story goes that in the 1930s, my family lived in the small town of Noctur, Kentucky, and my great-grandfather was the one to go out of town to get supplies and seeds for the others. He came back telling all about kudzu and how it would be great cow feed and all the other miracle cures that kudzu would be. He also hoped it would grow on the hill areas where other crops could not. He took the money of many a townsperson and went back to get the kudzu seeds so they could start making these bumper crops as soon as possible.
Oh,
And they all took the seeds, and everyone, including my grandfather, planted it as soon as they received it all over the hills.
oh man.
After a couple of years, the reality of kudzu came to light, and his name was so run down that the family had to move out of the area in 1938. My family got big into genealogy, and my grandfather and my mother went back to the area for research to see his childhood home area around 1998. The whole hollow was covered in kudzu, they said. The current occupants commented, some beehole planted all that kudzu mess. And my grandfather Gene replied, yeah, and I know who it was. Thanks for all the great shows through the years. Keep it up, Alex. Now, I know that some of you are like, kudzu what? And you got to be from the South, okay, to understand this. So I did a little research and dug in, and here's the info. Kudzu was introduced to the United States in 1876 at the Philadelphia Continental Exposition. It came to the South in the late 1930s for erosion control and as a possible crop to feed cattle. But it loved the Southern hospitality a little too much because of the weather. And before long, it was climbing trees, covering barns, and turning literally millions of acres into a leafy jungle. And it kills everything underneath it because it provides so much shade. So it is definitely an invasive species. Kudzu can grow up to 1 foot a day, and it is nicknamed to this day the vine that ate the South. Some cities have been battling it for over 70 years.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So now you know why Alex's family was on the outs.
And I know who planted it.
He did a little dance. It was us, nanner, poo-poo, stick your head in doo-doo.
Oh, man. Some beehole planted.
That's not what the original one said, but we said the A word enough in the last episode or whatever it was. So
yeah.
episode before last, I think.
A hole?
Yeah, we just talked about a hole.
A
hole in
hole.
the ground. Yeah.
A hole.
That's what the episode name was, a hole.
Mhm.
So, John, how do you kill a Karen?
How? Well, I'm going to tell you, and this comes from a nice Karen.
Okay.
All the way in Indiana. I recently retired from teaching, and most of my career was spent teaching middle schoolers.
Oh, boy.
I feel
Hold
a theme
on.
here.
Move out of the way, stupid.
Okay.
Well, this nice Karen specifically taught 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
In general, I was a well-liked teacher. While my students didn't always love the subject matter, I was usually able to develop good relationships with them and make the classroom an enjoyable place to be. A number of years ago, when Karen first became to mean what it means now, my students were seated in groups around the room, supposedly working together on a project.
That's crap. You're never working on the project. One person that cares is working on the project.
The one person that cares
you.
about the grade. The rest of them are trying to break through their Chromebooks and find video games.
Playing Roblox or something.
Yeah. Looking at skibbity toilet videos. Okay, supposedly they were working together on a project, but of course, probably mostly goofing off. I would circulate around the room, keeping an eye on the kids and answering questions now and then. I came upon a group of 3 boys who looked up at me and said, Mrs. K, do you know what a Karen is? Acting perfectly innocent, I responded, yes, that's me. My first name is Karen. This sent these 12-year-old boys who were really quite respectful and never would have called me a derisive. Derisive?
Yeah.
Man, I need to go back to school, learn some of this. Sorry. They were really quite respectful and never would have called me a derisive name. Into a bit of a tailspin. Red-faced, they stuttered and stammered. No, that's not what I meant. Wait.
Finally, I don't even know what that means.
I'm a Karen, she boldly declared. Finally, I put them out of their misery and said, yes, I know what you're talking about. Afraid that they had made a serious misstep and that I might be insulted. They still didn't know what to say except for, okay, yeah. And they nervously went back to pretending to work on their project.
She's no dummy.
I'd like to think that the memory of this incident has kept these boys from calling people Karens, but I'm not delusional. Still, James and John, I like your theory. That's a spin on every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing, which is every time you call a mean person a Karen, a real good Karen dies.
Did we really say that?
I feel like it might have been
sounds
said.
like us.
It does. We should put that on a shirt. Oh, sorry, Karen. I think you said that, James. I would never say such a.
No, it sounds like a package deal.
But the good Karen, the nice Karen, the
Yeah.
real Karen, she likes that. And she said, but of course that means my days are seriously numbered.
Yeah.
Thanks for a great show.
So my takeaway here is it's better to be a real Karen than a nice Karen.
That might
according to the Gospel of Kennison.
Yeah.
Every time you call somebody a Karen, a good Karen dies.
Every time you call a mean person a Karen, a real good Karen dies.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
man.
Congratulations on your retirement from teaching, nice Karen. I don't know how you made it through teaching middle school, but God bless you.
You did it. You did it. We got one more story. It's from Julia in Idaho. It's called Sleep Deprived Drive. Let me start by saying that I believe that all the stereotypes about women's drivers are all true. Let me start by saying that I just read that. That's not my opinion. She says, unfortunately, I am one of them. My story starts a couple months ago when I was working for a golf course restaurant on a food truck. I normally would close the truck and start my shift at noon, but 1 week late summer, I was the opener, meaning I needed to start my shift at 5 in the morning. I'm not a morning person. So having gotten up at 4:20 a.m. 2 days in a row was rough on me. The third morning, I stumbled around getting ready as usual. I said good morning to my dad, who was an early riser, and I got in the car to leave. Now, my dad parks on the street, and I park in the driveway. He didn't know that I had the early shift in that day, and he thought he would be the first person to leave that morning. He had therefore parked way closer to the driveway than he normally would. And I didn't know that. And the lack of information combined with the sleep deprivation and the darkness of pre-sunrise caused me to damage our family's other 2 cars like this.
No.
I backed out of the driveway like I normally do. Suddenly, I hear and feel a horrible scraping crunch and stop immediately.
Oh, no.
I, coming out of the driveway at an angle, had scraped the driver's side of my car against my dad's car back passenger taillight.
Oh.
Okay. I kept my foot on the brake and quickly called my dad with my phone. He came outside and, being the perfect dad that he is, very calmly guided me out of the situation and to prevent further damage. Then he quickly grabbed me by my neck and choked me till dead. No. Now there's a heart-shaped dent above my dad's back taillight. Oh,
it's so sweet.
It's so precious. And my dad's driver's side mirror is held on by packing tape. Or my driver's side mirror is held on by packing tape. The moral of the story is, don't get a job that requires you to get up before sunrise. And also make sure you own cars that you don't. Also make sure that if you own cars you don't care about Also make sure to own cars you don't care about very much if you park anywhere near me. Julia from Idaho. Thank you so much, Julia.
Good one, Julia.
Dude.
It only has to happen once.
We used to have a parking place in front of our house, and it was 2 cars deep, not 2 cars wide. And my wife was parked up near the garage, and I was parked behind her, and she just starts going, dude, backwards. And I'm like, no, honk, 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 honk. And she tapped me, man. She did. She didn't cause any damage, but it just struck me how horrible it would be for 2 people in the same family to get in an accident because you wreck both your cars at the same time.
No,
it's terrible. So, anyway. We got a few announcements. No show on the 26th of December and January 2nd. So just be ready for that. Show 500, we're hoping will be February 27th. If you would like to send something in for show 500, maybe an audio clip, we would love to get those.
Thank you.
Just go to the website and submit them. Or email James or thatstoryshow@gmail.com would probably be best. And then just put hashtag 500. Check out our merch at merch.thatstoryshow.com. John's saying we need to put some new t-shirts up. I've got an idea for I do have a shirt idea. It would be a maple leaf. What was that?
Really?
Yeah. And it would say, just say no to Japanese maple.
Okay.
And it would have a big Japanese maple leaf on it.
I thought you were going to say, just say no to fall festivals.
No. So
I might get that shirt, actually.
Yeah. So the next theme show is bikes. December 19th. So you've got a week to get your bike stories in. We've got plenty, but we're always looking for more. We're wanting more stories about bikes, jumping them, falling off them, hurting yourself or others with them, your best trick, whatever, your favorite bike, your least favorite bike, you know, a bike that turns into a robot. I don't care. As long as it's true, we want it. This podcast is possible because of our supporting listeners on Patreon. Supporting listeners get ad-free listening, swag, and a weekly bonus podcast. Try it out free for 7 days at support.thatstoryshow.com. We'd like to thank our latest patron, Donna Hampton. Thanks for becoming a supporting listener.
Thank you.
Special thanks to our producers, James Spengler, Carrie Wright, and Christopher Tynan. It is time for us to get out of here. Yeah. Do you have a story that you'd like featured on a future episode? Sure you do. Submit your story at thatstoryshow.com. And while you're there, join our mailing list for the latest updates. Please take a moment and leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. And remember, when something weird, annoying, embarrassing, or painful happens to you, don't get stressed, don't get depressed. Just think, hey, this belongs on That Story Show. And aphids don't belong on your plants. I think aphids should live more than spiders. Okay. Beware the Karen with a glare so keen. Her voice like thunder, her tone quite mean. She demands the manager. She won't take no. In the land of complaints, she's the star of the show. Not every Karen is so daring. We had one on the show. She's a teacher. She's no meaner than a sloth in the snow. But her students, they were so rude and they thought that they could tease her. But she's caught up on the culture, so they couldn't even reach her. It's generally frowned on to hit a child anymore. But I saw the other day this girl throwing stuff on the store. Some shoppers thought this set was bad president, but one lady said, don't stop her, she might be a president. Then a child out of line, we should be able to stop it. Like a dad with the bat that chased the boy, he wasn't gonna hit it. But the boy gave perspective. It showed him where he stood. He's a prisoner in his house inside his own neighborhood. So there we go. That's as good as it gets on a night where I'm sleepy.
Well, it was excellent.